to my channel, The Baking Diva. Well, today we're going to have a celebration. We're going to have a New Year's celebration. Might be a tiny bit early, not much, but I wanted to get this recipe on so that, in case you wanted to make it, you'd have it. So, before I get started though, I do want to wish everyone a very, very happy, healthy, and blessed New Year. I feel very blessed that I've had all of you follow me on my YouTube channel. It really means so much to me. I've been on here a while, and you know I always tell you I'm the little train that choo-choos up that hill. And slow and steady wins the race, but I couldn't do it without all of you. I know other people have said this, but I say it too, and I mean it. I'd just be sitting here, like me, myself, and I, with nobody watching. So I am so appreciative for all of you that watch my channel. My subscribers, you know who you are, who have been here with me for a while. I'm so thankful for all of you. You keep coming back. And I really just love you all for it. And for my new subscribers, welcome. And I hope you'll continue to watch me, because it does not only help my channel to grow, but kind of makes you feel good when you know, put a lot of time and effort into this, and you know people are watching you and they're enjoying it. So I want to say thank you very, very much to everyone. I hope we all have a very, very happy New Year. People have said to me, I don't get it. What do you get out of YouTube? How can you be friends with people that you never even met? Well, I get it. They're the ones that don't get it. I met so many nice people. You all know who you are. And I appreciate all of you. I mean, we all have times in our lives where we have the happy times, and sometimes, you know, we might have the sad times. We have things in our lives that happen. It's just life. And for me, to know I have friends out there who understand, and I can talk to, and I can confide in, it really means so much. And I know some of you who have gone through, you know, the same situations. You understand what I mean. It really means a lot to be able to have friends out there that become your family. And if we're fortunate enough, we get to meet some of those friends. So anyway, that's all I have to say about that. But since you will probably see this tonight or tomorrow, I did want to make sure before I started that I had that Happy New Year wish for all of you. Mwah! I do love you all. So now, enough chit-chat. I have my crown on. I haven't worn my Diva crown in ages. I thought this would be a good time to wear it. And I have my Cheers apron on. And I'm all ready to go. So let's get started. Today, I'm going to make for you pink champagne truffles. Oh, yes. And don't let the name scare you. They're really very easy to make. They're very similar to the way I make my cake pops, and they're my favorite thing to make. Just a little bit different, so I'm going to show you what we need to start our recipe. Now, yes, they're pink champagne truffles, but I'm going to tell you something. Pink champagne is expensive. It depends on what region you live in, but I'll tell you, I'm in New Jersey, and if you go into the liquor store to buy a bottle of pink champagne, you could easily spend $40 on it, starting $40 and up. Well, I'm not spending $40 to make pink champagne truffles. No, I'm not. So what you can use, if you don't want to use the pink champagne, is you can use Prosecco. And Prosecco is delicious. I have a beautiful bottle of it here. This is from Italy. And this big bottle, oh, it's heavy. It has a little glitter on the front. This bottle is about $12. So you be the judge, but for this recipe, you can use either pink champagne or Prosecco. So I just want to put that right up front, and it will taste fine with either one. So what do we have to do first? This is 3 steps. The first thing we're going to have to do is bake a cake. We're going to bake it in a 9 by 13 pan that we've sprayed. So I've already done that. I have that sitting over on the side. Now you're going to start off with a box of vanilla cake mix. So you're going to put your vanilla cake mix in your mixer. You can use your stand mixer or you can use a hand mixer, but you do need an electric mixer because basically step 1 is you're baking your cake. Excuse me. And what I usually do is I bake my cake the night before. I mix everything, pop it in the oven, bake my 9 by 13 cake, let it cool overnight, and then I'm ready to get started with the rest in the morning. So that's what I would suggest you do, but if you, I have a tickle in my throat, if you choose not to do that, you can make it the same day. You just have to make sure your cake is cool before you proceed. So in our cake mix, we're going to put 1 cup of our Prosecco. Smells just like champagne to me. You should see what happened before. Oh my goodness. The cameraman took it over by the sink and he got a towel to put over it. He was going to hold it over there while he tried to pop the cork. I went over there to get something. The cork popped on its own. Oh my God. It was so loud. The cork went flying across the room and it popped right in my ears. I couldn't even hear for a minute. It was crazy. Oh my goodness. And he said to me, that would be good on camera. And I said, yes, it would, but I didn't have the camera in my hand. So I'm going to pour a cup of this in here. This is bubbly. I don't know if you can hear it, the bubbles popping, but we need 1 cup. Does smell just slightly different to me, because I'm not really a drinker, than champagne would, but the recipe will come out just fine. So I'm putting 1 cup of champagne in there. You can hear it bubbling. Now I'm going to put in there, 1/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. 3 eggs, 3 large eggs. And because we're not using pink champagne, and there's nothing pink in here, the Diva, once again, is making a mess. I'm going to put just a dot, maybe, of this pink food coloring I have. Better to go light than put too much in. So I'm just going to put a drop in and I'm going to mix it because I just want my mix to have a little bit of a pink color to it. So I'm going to mix it and I'm going to see if it's the pink color that I like. So let me get this mixed and then we'll take a look at it. Now I also know, I've been doing this long enough, that I could do this real quickly and probably have this recipe done for you in 5 or 6 minutes. But I like to take my time because for people out there that are not professional bakers or don't have a lot of baking experience, my way is to take you through it step by step so you can follow me along if you want to make it. So I'm going to bring over my 9 by 13 dish that I have sprayed. Once this is mixed, I'm going to put it in the oven, 350 degrees, and you're just going to follow the time on the box as you would any other cake. So this one says for a 9 by 13 cake, 28 to 33 minutes. So just follow the directions on the box when you bake your cake. I'm going to put it in the oven take it out and let it cool. But I'll be back in a few minutes because I want to show you step 2. And wait till you see how pretty they look. And to put these out on New Year's Eve or New Year's Day, you can also use these for Valentine's Day, for any special, an anniversary, or any special birthday or occasion you have. So as you can see, it's a very light pink. I'm going to take my spatula and put it into my spray pan. That's the color I like it. Just a very, almost like a light baby pink. All right. So I'm putting this in the oven. I'll be back in a few when it's cooled, and I'll show you what we do next. So don't you go away. Okay. So while my cake is in the oven baking, I'm going to make my frosting. Now, it's not frosting like you think. We're not going to frost this cake, but we're going to make the frosting, and I'll show you what we do with it. So in our mixer here, we're going to put 1½ sticks of softened butter. I had it out, so it did soften. We're going to put in here 3 cups of confectioners sugar. That's powdered sugar. And that's 2. And there's the 3rd. Whew. Okay. We're going to put in our 1/4 cup of either our pink champagne or our Prosecco. So this is 1/4 cup of Prosecco. Goes in with the frosting we're making. We're going to put a pinch of salt. We're going to put in some pure vanilla extract, and that will be 1 teaspoon. Let me get that. And now we're going to put in some of our pink food coloring again. Now this recipe calls for about 4 or 5 drops. Now you'll see that the light pink that I made the cake, when it bakes, it's not going to look that pink. But we're going to add this frosting to it, and that'll be another step coming up. So I'm going to make this frosting a little bit darker. So I'm going to start with 4 drops. And you'll see why. So let me mix this, put this up, and I'm going to mix this. Now once I get this all mixed, I'm just going to put it aside. And I won't be doing anything else until my cake finishes baking, it cools, and then we will be able to go on and finish this up. Frosting only takes a minute to make. Let me scrape the sides of the bowl. Okay, so this is done. It doesn't take long to make it at all. Let me hold it up so you can see what color pink it is. See that pink on there? I made this about 4 drops I put in. I made this just a little darker pink. So I'm just going to scrape down the sides, and I'm going to put this bowl aside until I'm ready to use it. So I'll be back. Okay, we're ready to continue. So as you can see, my cake is baked. And I let it sit out until it's cool. It's very important that you cool your cake. All right, the cake is baked and the icing is made. Now, if you remember earlier, I told you that I like to bake my cake the night before or the day before. That would be my suggestion to you, because really, if we started this video today, we would have already had this done. It would have taken 2 minutes to make this, and we could have gone on. But anyway, the cake is baked, the icing is made. Now comes the fun part. Wash your hands. If you have any rings, you might want to take them off. I took off my new watch. Get yourself a big bowl. Let's put this over here. And what you're going to do is, you're going to take your cake and you're going to break it up into little pieces. Look at how nice this comes out. You see that? Oh, it smells so good. You're going to break it up in pieces like this. All of it. Ends, middle, sides. You see what I'm doing here? So your cake is cool. You're breaking it all up into little pieces. This is basically how I make cake pops. So we're going to keep doing that until we get all of the cooled cake broken up and into the bowl. So I'll finish doing this for you off camera, and then I'll be back to show you what we do next. I'm going to take the icing we made. Remember that dark pink icing? You're going to put that icing in the cake, in the broken up cake. And then you're going to give your hands some exercise. You're going to start smushing it all together. So you see what I mean? If your cake was already baked, you'd already be at this point right now. Okay. Okay. Now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to take my clean hands, my ring is off, I'm going to start squishing the frosting in with the cake. Ah, la 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 la. It's like making a meatloaf. Okay. Get it all combined. Squishy, squishy, squishy. So I'm going to keep doing this until I get everything mixed up. It's actually fun. It's just messy. And as you can see, as I start, let me show you, as I start squishing it, you see how it all comes together? You'll see at the end. Now what you're going to need is a parchment lined baking sheet. So I have one over to the side. I'll get to it in a minute. And you're just going to take your cookie sheet and put parchment paper on it. I want to make sure I get all of this mixed up and combined. All the cake pieces should be all mixed up with the frosting. And like I said to you many times, this is how I make cake pops. One of my favorite cake pops to make, I love them, is I make a box of funfetti cake. Do the same thing. I bake it in a 9x13 pan. Let it cool, and then I take a can of, a little piece there, a can of, not the whipped one. It has to be the regular can of creamy vanilla icing. And I do just what I'm doing now. I mix the vanilla icing, not the whole can, maybe a half to 3/4 of the can. Comes out just like this. And then we're ready to do our next step, which is we're going to make this into little truffle balls. So let me hold this up. You see what it looks like now? We got it all mushed together. And it's going to be the perfect consistency. So look, you can roll this into balls. So let me just go wash some of this off my hands and we'll come back and continue on. Okay, so I have all this mixed. I have my baking sheet here. My hands are clean. You can use your hands. If you want, you can use one of these little scoopers. Honestly, I prefer to use my hands, but that's up to you. You're going to take about a piece of it. You're going to make maybe about a 1-inch ball. Just like this. Put it down on your parchment paper. You're going to continue making these balls. You don't want to make them too big. And then after we get all of these balls made, we're going to put them in the refrigerator for about an hour because this truffle here is very gooey and we just want it to chill a bit and just firm up a little bit. So I'll continue making these off camera and then I'll be back after they're chilled and we'll finish these babies. And feel free to taste one because even though they're soft and mushy, the cake is baked and the icing's fine and they're perfectly safe to pop one in your mouth. And I think I'm going to do that right now. You definitely taste the Prosecco in here. But they're very mushy. Anyway, I'll be back. Stay tuned. Alright, so after I made the balls, I put the tray in the refrigerator for about an hour, just so they would firm up and chill a little bit. Then what I did is I took these white candy melts, the vanilla candy melts. If you don't have candy melts, you can use the white chocolate chips. And you need about 4 cups of them. And you can melt them in the microwave, like you always do, intervals of 15 or 20 seconds at a time, stirring. I did this here in this microwave cup, as you can see. But what I also did is I added to this 1/4 of a cup of coconut oil. It makes it nice and smooth, and it makes it very easy to dip. So what we're going to do now is we're going to dip our pink champagne truffles into our white chocolate, and then I'm going to place them down here on this parchment paper until they set and they dry. Now I also have a little bit of this gold edible glitter. I might sprinkle a tiny bit of that on the top, not much, while the chocolate is still wet, just so it looks festive. So I like to take a fork because you have the tines of the fork, and if you take your truffle and you put it like this, let me move my spoon out of here for now. If you take your truffle and you put it on here and then you just lower it into the white chocolate, you hold it over there for a minute. You can tap it on the side, and I'm going to do that now, you'll see. You cover it, and see how the chocolate runs through the tines of the fork? You got to kind of gently hit it a little bit, because you don't want to waste all that chocolate. And the coconut oil, I find, makes the chocolate much smoother, and it comes out looking a lot nicer. So there, you can just do that on the side. There you go. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take, I have another fork. I'm just going to take it, I'm going to slide it right on to my parchment paper. So we'll do another one. Just lower it down in a fork with my fork till it's all covered. Now, there's other ways you can do it, but this is how I like to do it. They even sell, I think, a candy fork that, you can use for this. You see how it's coming? And then I'm going to do all of these. I ended up with about 3½ dozen truffles. I would say you're going to get between 3½ and 4 dozen, because some of them I made a little bit on the large side. And I should probably take a toothpick to push these off. There you go. And I'm just going to keep doing these off camera until I get them all done. But on my gold glitter, I'm just going to put a little tiny bit on the top. And if you have pink, you can put pink on the top. I'm not going to put a lot. And I'm going to keep doing these because I don't want the video to be much longer. Once I get them all done and they're hardened, I'm going to come back for just a second, show you what they look like. Oh, while I'm doing this, I should remind you that if you enjoyed this recipe, and if you have not yet subscribed to my channel, go down below and hit that red subscribe. And there's a little notification bell there. If you hit that, and then it will say all, you'll just get a notification every time I get a new video up, and you won't miss out on any of my future ones. So please go down and subscribe. It helps my channel to grow, and it makes me feel like all the work I put into this is worthwhile. So anyway, comment, give me a thumbs up, subscribe. I'm going to finish doing these, and then I'll be back for 1 second to show you a tray and pop one of these babies in my mouth. Well, they're all finished. Look at these beauties. I sprinkled a little bit of the edible gold glitter on top, and they are looking good. Perfect for a New Year's celebration. So now I'm going to taste one. Which one shall I taste? They all look so good. Let me taste this. How pink they are inside. Look at that. These are delicious. Perfect way to start off your new year. But I will tell you, these are not for kids. These are adult goodies. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching. Just remember one thing. Bake your cake first the day before. Make your icing. Mix your icing with your broken up cold cake. Make your balls. Put them in the fridge to cool. And then you're going to dip them in the white chocolate. And you're all done. And now I'm going to put these in the refrigerator. So I hope you enjoyed this. I'll see you very soon. Don't forget to subscribe. And what do I always say? Toodles! Happy New Year!